Bob Van Rossum with MarketPro, and I'm here with Seth Romine, who's with Kara, and we're talking again about the hiring project that we've just completed for Kara and iProspect and Isobar here in Detroit. So Seth is a hiring manager, and if you want to jump in and give a little bit of an overview of your role and the challenge that was before you in this new account win.
So hi, Seth Romine, I'm the group director on Cadillac and OnStar. I also was part of the GM pitch, so I had a unique purview into what commitments we had made and the type of people and the culture that we wanted to build. So that was one of my primary responsibilities, in addition to onboarding a significant client and getting them up and running in 90 days, having to staff a team of close to 30 people.
So in the process of onboarding a new client, there was lots for you to do that had nothing to do with talent acquisition and hiring. In working with MarketPro as your recruitment partner, were we able to make it, how was the process? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it time consuming? What were we able to do to make your life easier within this process?
I think it worked incredibly well. I think they very much understood the type of culture that I was trying to build on the Cadillac team. And they were able to go and kind of do that first blush of, okay, you'll like so-and-so, you'll probably find so-and-so. And as a result, I was met with a good deal of candidates that definitely were already in a second round type process. So it made that a lot easier, specifically as we were hiring in phases. So I only had 2 or 3 people, and we're onboarding a major client. So the majority of my day is spent in client meetings and what have you. So I only have an hour each day to interview folks. So those that come in had to be really kind of exactly what I was looking for, and they did a great job.
So the talent that you did interview and the people that you saw was well screened and well vetted before they got to your desk. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. And it was interesting. They were well screened and well vetted, and I really began to rely on the MarketPro team to not only just ensure well screened from an HR perspective, but they also understood media. And I think they were able to figure out that they were a right fit for my team's culture as well. So yeah, very well vetted. And actually I think it's just a really good resource as well, like an additional.
So as a hiring manager and someone who was critical into onboarding a new client with GM, a lot of your day was obviously in client meetings and other things that had nothing to do with talent acquisition. So how did MarketPro do in helping save you time as part of the interviewing process? And where was the talent as far as how well screened and vetted were they when they got to your desk?
Working with MarketPro overall was actually quite turnkey and easy. I think from our first meeting where I was able to kind of brief out the type of culture and folks that we were looking to bring on, they got that quickly. And as a result, the candidates that I met with were well screened, well vetted, and really, I think already starting to understand our culture. And I felt very confident that they understood not only the media marketplace, but how they would fit in at Kara.
So one of the things that we got from the HR team and really they focused on was the culture of Kara and what they wanted to see from an employee talent base that was specific to the culture and how that is instrumental in moving the company forward. And that culture exists in Kara Detroit, Kara on a global basis. They're very careful about how they nurture that. From your perspective, understanding that culture, how did MarketPro do in putting forth talent that was within the guidelines of what you guys were looking for?
I think the MarketPro team was able to do a really solid job in bringing the right mix of folks, and that they understood that Kara global vision and that we are a global culture. We don't have Kara New York, and that's not terribly different from Kara Detroit and not terribly different from Kara London. Each office is going to take on its own culture, but they're not separate. They're connected, convergent, if you will. And as a result, the team was very cognizant about the folks they're putting in front of me and bringing a good mix of folks that had automotive experience, folks that had never done anything in automotive, folks that were very forward-thinking in digital, folks that were experts in other areas. And so they really were able to kind of weave out not only qualified candidates and folks that got that global culture, but that had diverse backgrounds. So we made ultimately a really solid team that can learn from each other.